welcome to another Saturday Storytime in Craft. I'm Mr. Cory, and this week we are going to be reading a book about cleaning up and recycling. And then we're going to do a upcycled craft where we take old materials and make something new with them. All right, so our book for this week is Tidy, and it's written and illustrated by Emily Gravett. Deep in the forest lived a badger named Pete, who tidied and cleaned and kept everything neat. He tidied the fox by grooming his fur. He untangled each knot, each twig, and each burr. He tidied the birds from the big to the small by brushing their beaks and bathing them all. Look at that, he's bathing all the birds. He picked up stray sticks, he swept and he rubbed. He polished the rocks, and he scoured and scrubbed. So when a leaf fell, well, oh, look at all the leaves falling. Pete tidied up, but still he wasn't happy. Now the trees looked bare and scrappy. So, to make it all look neat, Pete undertook a mighty feat. He dug up every single tree. But then it rained. There was a flood. Uh-oh. And afterward, a lot of mud. Pete called in the diggers, he called in the mixers, he called in the concrete, the rakers, and the fixers. Uh-oh. No mud, no leaves, no mess, no trees, perfectly tidy and perfectly neat. This forest is practically perfect, said Pete. I'm hungry, he thought. I deserve a treat. So he hunted around for something to eat. But the beetles and worms that he usually found were under the concrete, deep in the ground. And so Pete decided to go home instead. If he couldn't have dinner, he'd go straight to bed. But when he arrived and took out his key, there wasn't a door where the door used to be. See his home down there? Under all that concrete. Later that night, Pete tossed and he turned. His belly was empty. It rumbled and churned. As he lay in his mixer, wide awake, he started to think, I've made a mistake. So, the very next morning when it got light, he set about trying to put everything right. Then the animals came, from the strong to the weak, and they lent him a paw, or a claw, or a beak. Bringing all the trees back. They put everything back as it always had been, but maybe less ordered, and not quite as clean. And Pete? Well, he promised to tidy up less. But if he succeeded is anyone's guess. The end. All right, so that was our book for this week. So we are going to do our upcycled craft. So if you signed up for the kit, you'll receive all the materials you need to put it together. It's going to be a little badger, just like in our book, made out of a paper towel roll and some cardstock, and we'll be making a little tree for him out of an old book. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so let's get started. So like I said, this is going to be an upcycled craft, basically using old materials and making something new out of them. So you should have a book, the paper towel roll, the two little pieces of paper, a marker, and a glue stick, and googly eyes, of course, because you need googly eyes. make everything better. But yeah, let's start by making our little badger. So you're going to take your marker and color in the spots on his face along with his nose. I did give you a black marker, but if you want to like color your badger a different color and you have like other coloring materials, feel free to do so. Color in whatever color you want. Then also we're going to color his tail in. And I didn't film it, but I also colored his little feet on the roll, and it made them black too. But when you flip over the paper towel roll, you can see there's like the little cuts. Those are going to be his legs. So basically, you're going to take those little flaps and pull them back, and sort of just bend them, get like a little crease in there, and then do that with all four of them, and you should have the little standing body. All right, then the next thing, you're going to put your googly eyes on the face, and then put a little bit of glue on the top of the roll, and then on the bottom part of the head flap. That way both sides of it are secure, and then you're going to press it up on the paper towel roll. And then you're going to do the same thing with the tail. These are very big googly eyes, so our badger is a little bit more excited than the one in the book. But but that is it. That's our badger. So now on to the second part of the craft. So you have a sort of old book. Occasionally the library either has books that they're old and they get damaged, or we receive books that are damaged, and so we are going to upcycle them and make something cool out of them. So for this, we're going to make a tree out of the book. So what you're going to do is take your book, and for the first page, you're going to put glue along the outer corner, on the left corner, and then you're going to fold the top right corner down until it meets the spine of the book. And then you're going to fold the page again until like the bottom is aligned with the spine. Basically, you're just going to keep doing that, creating these little triangle shapes. And that will be making our little three-dimensional tree. So this is a little time consuming, but I think it's worth it at the end. So when I started it, as you can see, like I'm doing one page at a time. You can do that, or if you want to speed it up a bit, you can do a couple pages at a time. The more pages you do in a fold, the thicker that side will be, and it won't. There will be sort of larger gaps in between each fold. When you see the end result, you can kind of see that like the single pages, they're like very close together, but like the thicker pages, those ones are a little spread out. But either way, I think it still looks nice. So feel free to do it whichever way you like. So the end result kind of looks like a Christmas tree or a pine tree, which I think is pretty cool. But and our little badger friend, I think he enjoys it. But yeah, that is our crafts for this week. Okay, so I hope you guys had a good time putting your crafts together, your little badger and the tree. Hope it turned out good. So you guys enjoy and have a good Saturday. And I will see you guys next time. You can go to suffolkpubliclibrary.com and check our calendar for more upcoming programs. We have all sorts of things that we do here at the library, in person programs as well as virtual programs. So definitely check it out. And there's also the Saturday Storytime and Craft playlist that has a bunch of the previous stories and crafts that I did. And that's where all the future ones are going to go. So keep an eye out and have a happy Saturday. Bye.